It is Wednesday night, July 13th, 2022. AEW Dynamite Fyter Fest night 1 of 4 this year. Week 1 of 2, if you want to call it that. Just wrapped up. I'm Tanner Lee. Across from me on the computer is the good friend of the podcast, the former KOP predictions champ, Austin Shepard. Shep, thanks for joining me again tonight.
Former, soon-to-be two-time.
Yeah, I was thinking about this right before we started recording. Our current KOP predictions champ, Paul Moose Zartman, has missed the last 2 weeks. And on Dynamite, we get 2 brand new champions in 2 weeks. Coincidence? I don't think so.
He's busy. He's a busy man.
He is a busy man. I will give him that. But I hope he's been studying because
I do like your thought.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hope he's been studying because that Ring of Honor pay-per-view is coming fast next week, and I have my thoughts on the card later on. I'm still wondering when we're going to get the World Championship title match announced.
It's coming fast, but the card's really shaping together. And we got another good one tonight, which I figured we would get, I think, a week or two ago, especially after Blood and Guts. I figured we'd get this one, so – yeah, card's shaping up nicely.
It is, and we should know what's in stake for the heavyweight championship, the ROH heavyweight championship after Friday night's Rampage, which Rampage is pretty stacked this week for a Rampage.
Rampage almost is more stacked than I thought Dynamite was.
I know. Dynamite was pretty stacked tonight. Rampage stacked Friday. Next week's Dynamite's already stacked. So Tony's just giving us what we want, and he's we're pretty lucky. Pretty spoiled, as you like to say.
There you go. Yeah, I think we are pretty spoiled.
Well, talk about being spoiled. I mean, we kicked off tonight with the TNT Championship. Wardlow's first defense as TNT champion against Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy comes out first, gets the big pop from the crowd. Then Wardlow gets a good pop. Some camera snafus early on, though. Some camera cuts there, not going according to plan.
Yeah, they weren't on the same page. kind of even got me as a viewer confused. Like, wait a minute, are we supposed to see something else right now? But yeah, just a little mix up.
It got me confused too. And then when they cut to Justin Roberts, I'm like, okay, that's definitely not supposed to happen.
What a suit by Justin Roberts tonight, though, huh?
Looking good. And the guy's a stylish dude.
La Flama Blanca, the old Kitty Powers. White light.
Oh, I missed Eastbound and Down.
The white flame, baby. Anyways, sorry. I guess we get sidetracked really easily. You know that.
Oh, we do. That's why we have fun on this podcast. And Wardlow wasn't playing around tonight. He ripped the pockets off Orange Cassidy. That's a first. I've never seen that happen. Orange Cassidy's messed with Wardlow's straps during this match. We see Danhausen appear. He thought about cursing Wardlow for about a second and then thought, I better not do this. That was a pretty good spot. And Orange Cassidy gave Wardlow everything he wanted. I mean, hit him with the orange punch, hit him with the beach break, hit him with Slumdog Millionaire, hit him with everything he had, just wasn't enough. So Wardlow ended up defending his title in his first defense as he caught Orange Cassidy going for an orange punch. And he hit a powerbomb to retain. But after the match, Wardlow picked up Cassidy. The two of them showed respect for each other. So, once again, Cassidy doesn't get gold, but he doesn't get buried in the process or anything either.
Yeah, I thought after Forbidden Door in his match, throwing him right into this match, like, man, he's not going to win.
Right.
It's too soon for Warlord because – the next person to take the title off him means he's going to get a major title run.
Right.
But you know what? If you could have a match where you lose but don't get buried, I think maybe tonight was the night.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Made him look good, made him look strong. The Danhausen part was just pure entertainment. It was.
He is. He's great.
Great. Yeah. I mean, if you didn't smile, that's on you.
Yeah, if you didn't smile, why are you watching pro wrestling?
Yeah.
I mean, it was one of those entertaining.
This was the best case scenario for Warlord and Orange Cassidy. that could have happened on live television. I'm going to say this probably 2 other times tonight, but this match was maybe darn near pay-per-view quality.
Yeah.
Maybe not there, but it was really darn close. There's 2 other matches that stick out that we should have paid for tonight, but we didn't.
And I'm digging
the Khan's awesome.
Yeah, like you said, spoiled. We are spoiled, and we're just becoming used to it. I'm really digging the TNT title matches kicking off Dynamite. I dig that.
I do. And I don't want to wear this out, but eventually can we go to an open challenge and surprise appearance?
Yeah.
I know that was in another company that was kind of big for a while, but if you do an open challenge and with the plethora of talent Tony Khan can put his hands on, that could be something special than the other company.
Well, I go back to the Daily's Place pandemic era, and that's what made that title for me was Cody Rhodes doing the open challenge. That's how we got Eddie Kingston. That's how we got Ricky Starks. Warhorse, I know he didn't get signed, but he came in against Cody. I mean, we got a lot of talent we wouldn't normally see. So I thought that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. I think we can bring that back now because COVID era is hopefully done.
Yes.
You can bring guys from overseas and other countries, other territories, and really make that very interesting. And give people on national television some fresh faces to look at that we haven't seen. Right.
I mean, that's how we learn and educate ourselves as pro wrestling fans.
Yeah.
Become to, learn new talents and everything. Speaking of Wardlow, though, who would you like to see him? I know we're a little ways out from All Out, even though it's coming up faster than I think Tony planned, because tonight they finally announced where it's going to be, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But who would you like to see him face? What feud would you like to see him get into for to defend his TNT title?
Going on a pay-per-view like that, I think look at a guy like Claudio.
That'd be fun.
Let's elevate that guy. Sammy's always there, but
yeah.
I mean, at some point in time, we gotta push Sammy to main event and instead of TNT.
Well, right now he's lost in a faction.
yeah, he's there.
We haven't been on TV in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
which I like because the big bump he took at Blood and Guts. I mean, he keeping him off TV for a little bit.
Man, there's so many options. There's guys from New Japan that could come over and make a run. So
how about Powerhouse Hobbs against Wardlow?
Yeah, big guy versus big guy.
He looked good tonight.
I know we'll get into it later, but I thought Powerhouse Hobbs and Keith Lee just
they tore it down tonight.
Yeah, they did. So yeah, there's a lot of options. Hopefully do you think we're only going to get a summer of Warlord before he goes, or do we get a little longer? Do you play it out a little longer for him?
I think he played out a little longer. I think he played till at least Full Gear in November.
Yeah, give us almost a year of him. Let him drop the title, and then give us 3 to 4 months to build him up against a world title shot.
Yep.
And if you really want to drag it out, build him up, make him lose, make him crawl back.
Yep.
So.
Yep. They've built him up correctly so far. So that's one guy I'm really confident they won't screw up. So.
But it's pro wrestling, Tanner.
It is pro wrestling. That's a good point. As
much as we like Tony Khan,
that's a good point. So thanks for keeping me grounded there. We then hear from a guy who likes to change his character up every few months. That's Chris Jericho, the Wizard. Chris Jericho.
No, it's Painmaker.
The Painmaker, as he is going to be next week in the barbed wire everywhere shark cage over the ring match. That's more stipulations than I think Excalibur even knows how to read. But basically, he came out cut a promo on Eddie Kingston, called out Kingston, said Kinks is confused but isn't a liar, and he adds that being friends with Eddie is worse than any curse Danhausen could muster. He ran down some of Eddie's friends, such as Ortiz and Santana, that are missing. Jericho says he took out Bryan Danielson. We don't know when he's going to be back. Then he says Ruby Soho has a mangled hand because she is Eddie's Ruby. He says Eddie is a mark for people like Sabu, Terry Funk, as he questions how many barbed wire matches Kinks has actually had. As Jericho mentions, he won the first ever barbed wire match in Canadian wrestling history when at the young age of 22. He says he felt pressure in that and claims to be just as sadistic as Eddie Kingston, but Eddie overestimates that, but it won't be possible next week. That's because Kingston is not facing Jericho. He's facing the Painmaker, as you referenced. He says that this match is the end for them, and after Eddie can cover everything up with excuses, but the trust is he just won't be at his level. He says the only thing that can wash away his sins is Kingston's blood. If he wants that, he's got it, because Kingston isn't a liar. He's a loser.
I thought it was a good promo by Jericho, maybe a tad bit too long.
That's how I feel about a lot of Jericho's promos. I mean, when he's serious and not messing around, he's still one of the best on the mic and all of professional wrestling. But his promos do go a little lengthy for my liking.
Yeah, I do like bringing up Sabu, Terry Funk.
Yes,
because we've seen Eddie wear some Terry Funk T-shirts in the past. I'm a huge Terry Funk fan, and I watched his stuff back from the territory days of WCW to when he was a 50-some-year-old guy putting ECW on his back and doing just stupid stuff. So yeah, I'm a huge Terry Funk fan. So I love that he brought that in to the Kingston promo, and it was good. It's Jericho. We know he can talk. On the flip side, the Kingston quick and sweet, short and sweet, I should say, promo, I was a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, he pretty much was shown backstage, said Jericho's going to pay with every ounce of his blood, and he will see him at the barbed wire everywhere match.
Yep, and we saw Soho back there with an arm brace on or whatever. So I like that. I like that she could be part of the Combat Club. I really do.
Yeah,
I think she would fit in really well with those guys. And Regal worked with her back in NXT, so he's got a feel for her. So that could be a nice touch for those guys.
That's a good point. I'm really looking forward to this Kingston and Jericho match next week. I think one thing AEW does really well is they put exclamation points on the end of their feuds.
I'm excited for it as long as it doesn't get too gimmicky, meaning the guys suspended above the shark cages and all that stuff. But if those guys literally go out and beat the living tar out of each other, throw each other through barbed wire from any other angle, okay.
Yep. It might be similar to when Jericho faced Nick Gage last year, and that was when I told all the listeners and viewers of KOP to make sure to put the children to bed before that one started, because it gets a little gruesome.
And when I saw the whole Nick Gage thing, I'm like, man, no way Jericho could live up to a Nick Gage match. But he was pretty darn close.
He did.
I know they only got 15 to 18 minutes during that match, and Nick Gage normally gets 30. But the light tubes, the glass pane, I mean,
for what you can do on national television, they did.
That has to be one of the most extreme matches ever televised on cable TV.
And it'll unfortunately probably always be remembered for the pizza cutter during the picture-in-picture Domino's.
Domino's, what a great!
I don't think they've been back as a sponsor since.
No, I'm pretty sure they haven't. But
that was some bad timing.
You know what? They should have capitalized off of it.
They should have.
They should have hired Nick Gage to do a commercial.
Yep.
Instead of the New Jersey chicken guy that we all saw. But that's a whole nother thing.
That is. But you were speaking of Regal, you were talking about Regal, and speaking of Regal, he was out on the commentary desk for this next match, which was Jon Moxley, the interim AEW World Heavyweight Champion. And this was a eliminator match for that title against Konosuke Takashita. Takashka. I got it right this week. Takashka.
Yeah.
I want to say Takashita, but it's Takashka. This guy can go. I mean, this guy's he went last week with Kingston on Rampage. That's why Moxley wanted this match. I mean, he isn't winning a lot of these matches, but the dude can flat go, and Regal put him over on commentary tonight, and I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah. Moxley put him over too.
Yes, he did.
There were some stiff shots in that match.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked it. I want to say going up to this, I'm going, there's no way in heck that triple threat match tonight could swerve me from match of the night. But man, I'm still on the fence. And when it goes to wrestler of the night, Takashita was right up top until we got the main event, and we'll get to that later. But I mean, again, this is one of that match. I said 5 minutes into it, we should be paying for this darn match.
Yeah, I mean this kid delivers every time he's in the ring. We saw Moxley get split open, nasty apron spot. The hardest part of the ring, as they say. He just impressed me tonight. Frog splash. He pulled the frog splash. What else do we have?
Might have not been the best frog splash of the night.
No, there wasn't. It wasn't. He had a blue thunder bomb at one point. Moxley's going for the Death Rider or the paradigm shift, I should call it. It's paradigm shift in America. But Takashka reversed it with a rolling elbow and then a German suplex, which was, I thought for a second it was going to be a botched 3 call.
It was really close, wasn't it?
It was really close. It was really close, but Moxley hit several headbutts at the end and then connected with the paradigm shift and then a bulldog choke for the victory, which that's really become a staple of his for finishing matches.
I was kind of like him going away from his paradigm shift to that, just to give him a little something different.
And it doesn't really bury the guy who loses. Like last week, Brody King passed out. Right. I mean, a lot of times the guys are passing out; they're not giving up and tapping out. So, yeah, it's a good way to protect all involved. But a very good match. I thought it was going to be good, and it even exceeded my expectations. We then got a video package for the House of Black, talking to Darby Allin. Brody King says he doesn't need praise, and he is getting his by taking Darby's. Those two will meet up next week on Dynamite for Fyter Fest Week 2.
Which, yeah, we had at a fan event this week. Brody put Darby through a table out of nowhere.
He didn't hold anything back on that powerbomb either.
No, he didn't. No. Man, I like Brody a lot. I like Darby a lot, but there's some point in time where size comes into play.
Right.
And you just know. I mean, yeah, I'm sure Darby's going to get some offense in, but, I mean, I don't know. It just doesn't want to make me sit down with a bag of popcorn and a root beer and make sure I watch this match.
Now, would it if I told you that Malachi and Steen are going to get involved?
Okay.
A little more.
A little different.
Yeah. I just hope we see Buddy Matthews. I don't know if he's healthy or not yet. So
we haven't seen him in a while.
No, I think he's a little banged up, but who isn't on this roster?
That's true.
Christian Cage then comes out with Luchasaurus, and he mocks Brian Pillman Jr.'s haircut because the Varsity Blondes are in the ring, which I kind of forgot about them. We haven't seen them since Julia Hart turned her back on them and joined the House of Black. He mocks Pillman's haircut and says he had a father like Jungle Boy, but he was a legend in this business. However, Cage claims that Brian Pillman Sr. was average at best, but he does respect him. He doesn't mind speaking on Brian's behalf, saying he's appalled that Pillman Jr. was his child. Christian then says Griff Garrison annoys him with the picture he posted because he reminds him of a certain someone. Thought that was kind of good play into BTE there with the whole Brody Lee Dark Order stuff 2 years ago with who the Griff Garrison.
Right.
Luchasaurus went against Griff Garrison, dominate him. ends up winning pretty easily. Hits 2 choke slams before locking in the tarpon for a submission win. After the match, he headbutts Pillman Jr., puts him up on one of the tables inside of the ring, and then he choke slams Griff on top of him once. Table doesn't break, so he does it again. Choke slams on top of him, and the table gives away.
At some point in time with Pillman Jr., you either got to get rid of him or push him.
Yep.
I mean, I liked the Varsity Blondes gimmick back in the day. It was good. Now we got Christian making fun of his dad that's passed, just kind of like Jungle Boy's dad that's passed. It kind of fits in the storyline right now. That's good. Mm-hmm. But the guy's got the look. He's got the ability in the ring.
He's not good on the mic, though.
He's iffy on the mic. He's got to work on that. But you got to start giving him reps. Mm-hmm. So, let's get him through the match next week. Obviously, Christian and Luchasaurus probably going to go over on that one.
Yeah.
If they don't, man, I'd love to see a Christian Brian Pillman one. That'd be a match.
It'd be fun
for that. Mm-hmm. I like to see Christian in the ring more than on the mic.
Agreed.
So at some point in time, we got to do something with Junior. So
I will say they kind of tried to give him a little push last year. If you remember at the Arthur Ashe event, Grand Slam, he went against MJF.
Yeah, then he had that match.
And then he kind of faded away.
Well, he had that match when Moxley saved him down in Cincinnati.
Yep.
Yeah, hometown type stuff.
Yeah. So,
I mean, he's had his spots, and I think he could, like I said, his in-ring work is good. His look is good. If he could talk on the mic like his dad could,
gotta be a game changer.
Yeah. Then you got somebody to really open your eyes. So hopefully somebody inside that company is working with him. Hopefully the Natural Dustin's working with him. Mm-hmm. I would think he's trying to play the role like his father did in NXT and making sure these kids, young talent, can talk on the mic and entertain people. That's what Dusty was so good at. So hopefully Dustin is doing that good. Or there's somebody in AEW really working with these young talent. And Pillman's still young. He's in his 20s. Mm-hmm. So he's got a long way to go yet.
I did see that Pillman's going to be on we talked about this a little bit last week. I saw it was added tonight to the Ric Flair's last match card. It's going to be Pillman and Brock Anderson with Arn Anderson in their corner against one of the help me out here, the old tag team that's still active.
Rock and Roll Express?
Yes. One of those members, his son.
Oh, their son, the Mortons.
Yes, the Mortons, and then the other one's in their corner.
Gotcha.
So, Yep.
Which the Mortons were on the GCW card down in Evansville. It was good to see them again. So, yeah, I'd like to see the Mortons, especially on that Ric Flair card. Mm-hmm. Then you get, obviously Brock and Arn involved. Pillman Jr. is right there. Pillman Sr., I should say, was right there in the WCW days with Flair and everything.
The Horsemen, yep.
I mean, that's a card right now of a true independent card right now that I think will get as many pay-per-view buys as some of the AEW ones and some of your lower WWE ones.
It was a card, honestly, about a month ago. I was not going to order it. I'm not too, Ric Flair's a legend, don't get me wrong, but I wasn't too entertained by the idea of watching. But the more they add these matches, it's shaping up to be a really good card.
Yeah, and then really a lot of Impact. I saw a lot of Impact talent on there.
Mm-hmm. So,
but
then we cut backstage, JAS backstage. They say they don't like cages, and Daniel Garcia challenges Wheeler to the peer title match at ROH, which was already announced last week. So I was kind of confused by his wording there, but that should be a good match.
Yeah, that'll be a great match on that card. I think both of those guys are really talented, really young. Hopefully they get enough time. Hopefully they get 20, 25 minutes on that show. Because I think it'll take at least 20 minutes for those two to put on a really good match.
Love the Daddy Magic's delivery.
Dude, he's amazing. He is maybe my favorite guy. And I don't know if it's the way he chews that damn bubble gum or what. Yeah, just he's
cool. Cool hand and just something about the cage, and then and he just the way he delivered was asking Shivani, cages, how high's the cage?
And half the time that damn bubble gum's going to come out of his mouth, and then you love the switchblade comb.
Yeah,
calm
down, it's just a comb.
Yeah. Those guys, they're very entertaining.
They are good.
They are
good. They are good. Then backstage we see Hangman Adam Page in a tie-dye T-shirt and a headband. A weird look for Hangman, but he's with Shivani backstage, and in the Dark Order, John Silver, Alex Reynolds appear. Say they're pissed off, and they challenge the House of Black to a match.
Random.
Yeah, very random.
Random.
All right.
I don't see the House of Black putting these three over.
No, I don't either.
Even with Hangman in there.
I know. I don't.
Unless they're going to start another little push with Johnny Silver, but I don't see it.
And they had that nice little segment with Dark Order last week, and then BT's. Did you watch BT this week?
I did.
So Hangman gives them that pumped up speech, but they're still leaving a lot left to be desired there with the Bucks and Hangman. So it's got me intrigued on BTE, but we'll see if that crosses over to Dynamite sometime.
I feel like those three talking about it this soon and being on BTE, eventually it's going to leak its way in, and then we're going to see something at All Out.
And really, I think they're just waiting for Kenny to come back to introduce the trios, get the Undisputed Elite stuff going. I mean, there's a lot of things they can.
And I've noticed one thing, and you probably just read as much as I do. There's not a thing on any dirt sheets about Kenny.
No, I mean the only thing I saw within the last couple of weeks was he was quoted pretty much saying if he had another setback in rehab, he might be done.
Yeah.
But I didn't know if I didn't know which way to take that. Done with just rehab and say screw it, I'm coming back not 100%, or just done wrestling in general. I didn't know which way to take that.
Yeah, that one you never see anything, which is rare.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully that's good because Tony Khan's saying I'm keeping this a surprise. Or the other thing is this is bad because he's not getting any better.
Right. I think it's definitely one way or the other. I'm hoping it's the first one.
Yeah.
Because when he comes back and his music hits, I think the roof's gonna explode.
Oh, as long as he's not with Don Callis.
Agreed. Or if he is, he turns on him real quick or something.
Yeah. I think at this point you keep him out this long. Does he have to come back as a face?
I think he almost has to.
Yeah.
I saw somebody on Twitter tonight they even said this is not going to happen, but imagine they said last year at all out we get the double debut at the end with Cole and Danielson. He said imagine this year we get double return Omega and Punk.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, that would make the roof explode off the net. Well,
you got Punk in Chicago, so
right. It'll be interesting to see if he's ready to go by then or not. I don't know. I haven't read anything really about his recovery.
So. Right. He was supposedly had surgery too.
Yeah. So a lot of guys that need to be coming back soon before that big show. So
like you get a Punk, Omega, Moxley triple threat.
Oh my God. That's maybe the biggest match they can do. Well, no, it could probably be a fatal 4-way if you throw Danielson in there. That's probably the biggest match.
Yeah.
If you just go pure star power. So
that'd get a lot of buys.
Yes, it would. We then got a match that actually was better than I thought it would be because Jake Hager was involved. It's Jake Hager versus Claudio, two former allies in WWE on the We the People.
Where's Zeb at?
Yeah. I'm just not a big Hager fan. I'm not silent about that on this podcast. JR is, though. Goodness gracious, JR's putting his Oklahoma boy over tonight on
Well,
commentary.
little Homer fan, little Homer.
Little Sooner buddies, but I do like how they're bringing JR in for the second hour. Shivani shifts out. I do kind of like that. And now, did you notice Shivani and JR are on Rampage now?
I did notice that. I do like the JR coming in. I like that they give him the music on TV.
Yeah,
they know he's coming. And Shivani, I like they're giving the first hour, but I love how Shivani's doing some promos, kind of like the Britt Baker one, which we'll get to tonight. Like Shivani's kind of a little of a bitch. Sorry,
he is. No, he is.
So, and I think he plays that character well.
Yes, he does.
And his reaction's good to it. So, yeah. First hour. Then when the matches come, your final hour, you're trying to grab them ratings. You bring JR in. So, I think it fits well.
Well, they got their two best commentators there at all times now, Excalibur and Taz.
Yeah, Taz this is the best. And I watched Taz back in his TNA days, and he was a little bit in the WWF days, I think.
He was SmackDown. He was definitely SmackDown WWE.
Yeah, I don't know if it was WWF or WWE at the time, whatever. And I thought he was just okay, but this is his best work by far.
You can tell he's having a lot of fun.
Yeah. And Excalibur has grown on me.
Yes, me too. Me too. He's the real deal. He's really good.
So, those two good stables to have. Interchange and how lucky are you're Tony Khan, you can interchange legend for legend Shivani and Ross.
Yeah.
I mean, Ross maybe be one of the best all times up there with Gordon Soley.
Mm-hmm.
But in our days when you and I actually were alive, Shivani's right up there.
Oh, Ross and Shivani were the voices of my childhood. And I'll throw Jerry Lawler in there too.
Yeah, Lawler was awesome in the Attitude Era. I mean,
he could be himself then.
He's a nut job. And then I was always a huge guy of Joey Styles because Joey Styles could call a pay-per-view by himself.
Joey, with his enthusiasm, it reminds me of Pat McAfee now.
Yeah.
But a little different, but the energy level. Yeah. Which that was smart by WWE giving Pat an extension. So
that sucks.
It does, but he's good.
I like Pat.
He's good. We saw Claudio get the win, hitting the Swiss Alps. But like I said, a better match than I thought it was going to be. I really enjoyed him taking Hager for a swing. Claudio's so freaking strong.
I noticed Hager sold that a little bit different than most guys. Most guys fold their hands behind their head.
Yeah.
He had his arms extended.
Yeah.
To make it, I mean, he's a big dude.
He is a big dude. Lengthy.
And they had the camera angle up on top of him. So it just made it look even better. So, yeah, Hager sold that really well.
I will say something I do like when Hager's in a singles match. I do like his entrance theme. I wish that would get played more. I do think he has good entrance music. But that's about it.
He just has an awful face for wrestling.
He just just never been a big, even when he's Jack Swagger, I just never been a big fan of his. So, but Claudio got the win as we all expect in his Dynamite singles debut. So he's 3-0 now. We then see a Hook getting interviewed backstage. He's asked by DDP's daughter, I forget her name off the top of my head, when he could be going for some championship, and he just kind of smirked, walked away.
I love it.
Yep,
I love it. It because it gives his I wouldn't say cockiness, but his confidence. He always has confidence when we see him on Rampage.
Confidence and he's got a mysterious factor to him too.
Yeah, but he knows, being who his father is, knows that he's got to take his licks, right?
Oh yeah.
So for them to ask this early in his run, it would be I feel like his dad would be let down if he would say, "Hey, I'm ready next week." Or I'm ready in a month at the next pay-per-view or whatever. So I felt like this was perfect for Hook.
He'd be a fun one to eventually take on Wardlow.
Yeah. Again, I just don't like. I hate those size.
I know.
and that's just me. I mean, that's just a personal thing. The big versus little. I mean, Hook's maybe what 5'9", 5'10".
Mm.
Warlord 6'5", 6'6". But if you build him up correctly and do the match correctly, it can work. But I thought tonight they got 30 seconds, a little vignette. He smirked and walked away. It was perfect.
And kind of getting them away from Danhausen a little bit for the time being. You can always get them back together. But I kind of like, they had that fun Hookhausen team. Now maybe he's got to go back to a little singles run.
That or, I mean, I would say put them together and make them a tag title run, but the tag title division is.
Oh, we'll get to that.
It's screwed.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. We then got Thunder Rosa backstage with Tony Storm talking about their new tag team Thunderstorm, and they're ready to face anybody. That leads Dr. Britt Baker making an appearance for the first time in a little while with Jamie Hayter at her side. Britt says they're back and they know the carnage that Thunderstorm can create, but Jamie says they're well versed in it. This leads to a sandbag appearing with Britt telling Shivani he can carry it for a month. Didn't really understand that part, but
I feel like Britt is going to call themselves the natural disasters against the Thunderstorm. Sure. Great. They showed a little vignette before that. Thunder Rosa lost over in Japan.
Yes.
I can't pronounce the lady's name, but she's coming back to the States to have a AEW title match. Mm-hmm. They kind of made it as a title eliminator over there in Japan, and they showed the roll up that Thunder lost, and she played it off pretty good. Like, hey, look, it sucks I lost, but she's coming back over here. I'm going to get a fight with her. So that could be a good. I don't like Thunder on the mic. I really don't. Especially when you put her up against Britt. Britt is just so far above her.
Right.
In ring, yeah, Thunder's awesome. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, on the mic, it was just I cringed a little bit during that little segment, and then Britt saved it.
No, you're right. Britt definitely took some bite out of Thunder tonight, but that's what happens sometimes. I mean, and you kind of hit the nail on the head. That's kind of how I felt during Thunder's whole title reign so far. Her in-ring work's been amazing, but everything outside the ring, anytime she's on the mic, just hasn't hit for me, hasn't landed.
So I picked Tony Storm to win.
Yeah, I just don't know. I don't know what they do with the women's title. I don't know. I mean, do you give it back to Britt eventually?
Well, it almost feels like they're building up a tag division right now.
Well, I see a lot of people on Twitter wanting women's tags.
So, yeah, right now there's no I would say the clear competitor was Tony Storm, but obviously if you're going to pair those two together, I mean, the only person you got to Britt. Mm-hmm. She's already had her title run, and she did a hell of a job. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah. I don't know. I don't see anybody coming out of the woodwork just yet. At one point, I really liked Athena because she's just so darn athletic, but we haven't seen her in a little bit. So
nope. Yeah, it's a confusing division. A lot of talent. I mean, it's getting better talent wise, but still just confusing direction wise. But speaking of that, good match tonight between Serena Deeb and Anna Jay. Both these girls can go. Both these ladies, I should say, can go. I honestly thought Anna Jay was going to pull it off at one time when she got Serena in the Queen Slayer, but Deeb got out of it and got the Serenity lock in for the win. So,
yeah, Anna Jay's hometown. Obviously, her parents were sitting there front row, and I thought she looked really, really good in the ring. Deeb is.
She's the professor for a reason.
Yeah, she's good. But yeah, I thought that was a very, very entertaining women's match, and it was better than a couple of the men's matches tonight. So yeah, it was really good. It was a perfect lead into the main event. It really was. Before
the show started, when I saw the card for tonight, I saw this. And what I wanted to happen was after the match, it didn't. I wanted Christian to come out and take out Anna Jay. Because that's who, if they're going to break kayfabe a little bit, she dates Jungle Boy.
That's right. I didn't think about that.
In her being her hometown, her parents there. I mean, they really could have got even more heat on Christian. So,
okay,
I don't know, but it was just something I was kind of hoping for, but I wasn't really expecting it. So, but we did see. We got a few things, I guess, to give to before that. Post match, Deeb wouldn't let go until Martinez appeared for the save. Those two are going to face next weekend. The ROH pay-per-view, Mercedes Martinez versus Serena Deeb. That should be a really good match.
Really good. They were past tag partners
just recently.
Before, and
yep.
I think it'll be a good match. Those are two of the top women performers right now in the division. So maybe the winner of that would have a little feud with Thunder Rosa. Martinez and Thunder could really put on a good match in the ring too.
And we've seen that too. Yeah, we've seen that, I think.
2 times? I know at least once.
Because Mercedes made her debut by attacking Thunder Rosa, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Because it wasn't in one of those tournaments, and she cost her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we then see Jay Cargill backstage, and Stokely Hathaway's talking about the interim baddie situation, and he's telling them to trust him because Kiera Hogan and Jay don't want to listen to him. So what do you think about this whole Stokely Hathaway baddie situation? I know Red Velvet's on the shelf right now with an injury. But
yeah, I think I said this a couple weeks ago. I don't like Stokely. I'd rather have Sterling back. I think Stokely sucks on the mic. Sorry.
I think he's pretty good, but I think Mark Sterling's good too. So
I think Sterling's all. I'm thoroughly entertained by Mark Sterling. So that maybe it's just I know Mark Sterling on the indies actually performs, like actually
right.
rings and works. Maybe gives him a little leg up, but yeah, and then you even see Jade on Twitter, like she buries Stokely all the time on Twitter.
Oh, yeah, she does.
It's hilarious.
She buries everybody.
Yeah, but it's like, wait a minute, he's supposed to be your voice, and but whatever. Yeah, the Jade thing, I'm ready for Jade to
take the next step.
Drop this title, and maybe go after Thunder. I don't know. Jade's getting better in the ring, but can she work with the likes of Britt, Tony, Thunder, Martinez, Serena Deeb? Maybe right. Below.
Yeah, that Jade Cargill, Britt Baker match is still their money match in the women's division once they eventually get to it.
Yeah.
Don't know how we get there. Don't know when it's going to happen, but down the road, that's their money match. We then got to the main event tonight, AEW Tag Team Championship match, the Young Bucks, the champions, Ricky Starks, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Swerve in Our Glory, Swerve Strickland, and Keith Lee. This match was awesome in the ring. A lot of great spots, a lot of close finishes.
I was nervous when they rang the bell, and I looked at the clock and going, they're only getting like 14 minutes. And I'm like, man, a triple threat for 14 minutes. This is gonna struggle. And then the last, I think I looked 7 or 8 minutes was just nuts.
Yeah, it was one of those you couldn't blink, you're gonna miss something.
Yeah. And it turned out 400 times better than I thought it was going to.
Absolutely. I think my favorite spot of the match, though, was when Powerhouse Hobbs just went on a spinebuster train. And spinebuster, I don't even remember who he spinebuster. It might be, I think it was Keith Lee first.
Yeah.
And then he just starts spinebustering guys on top of Keith Lee, one after another.
The frog splash by him, that was, 75% across the ring?
Yeah.
And then the swanton by Keith Lee over the top.
Impressive.
I mean, come on. I don't know which one's more impressive.
And some of the stuff Swerve does. I mean, jumping off Keith Lee's chest and doing flips and stuff. That guy's smooth.
Yeah.
The Bucks are the Bucks. You know what you got to get with them. And then even Ricky Starks, I love when he hits a spear. He hits spears clean.
There was a lot of good spears that he hit, or even that cutter he hit off the top. That was good. That was good. And I told myself, with all those, the last 5 minutes are on, Bucks ain't losing. The Bucks ain't losing.
No, I the whole time, like, okay, they're gonna finish this up. They're not gonna have to do the work. Somebody else is gonna do the work. They're gonna clean it up for the win. We're gonna get them an FTR, the main event, all out for all the freaking titles in the world. And we got surprised at the end by Swerve Strickland and Keith Lee getting the win, as Ricky Starks was looking for a spear, but he got tackled away. Keith Lee then dove to the outside. Swerve connected with the stomp to win the titles.
I blame this on the Hardys. And the reason I do is because the Hardys were supposed to supposedly get a little bit of a title run here this summer. And they threw a curveball at us. So I like when the Bucks won the titles, going, okay, we got 2 months, and then we're gonna have Bucks FTR for 4 belts. And maybe we'll still get that.
Yeah,
but I don't.
It just shocks me how quick the Bucks title reign was.
Was it 2 weeks? 3 weeks? 2 weeks? 2 weeks?
Yeah, because they won the ladder match.
Yeah,
over Jurassic Express. So 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks.
3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But I don't see Swerve and Keith challenging for 4 belts.
I don't see them holding the titles very long, because they still, even tonight, they tease the friction. So maybe that's how FTR gets the titles. Maybe they get them off these guys pretty quick.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if we get an FTR versus them where FTR holds all 4 belts, I feel like we're going to get FTR holding all 4 belts at some point this year.
And I think we're going to get the rubber match between the Bucks and FTR. That's money on the table, just laying on the table wasted if they don't do that.
Yeah.
But it might not be as quick as we all thought.
I mean, if we play it out right, can we get the Bucks FTR going over at some point, getting the AEW belts? Can we get the Bucks FTR in the Tokyo Dome this winter for all 4 belts? If we can get AAA to play along,
yeah, that's the
big one. Yeah. That's the big one. But I mean, Tokyo Dome, I think that's is that in December or January?
January, I believe. Wrestle Kingdom.
First couple weeks of January. First week of January. I mean, can you imagine?
Oh man,
70,000 people in the Tokyo Dome, and those 4 going after 4 different titles. I'd wake up at 3 a.m. to watch that.
I would too. I've never watched Wrestle Kingdom live, but that'd be one I'd have to work my work schedule around.
Well, they do it 2 nights now.
Mm-hmm.
So I would think if you would somehow get them to do that match, that would be a headliner on one night.
Yeah, I still was really hoping that was the Bucks FTR for all the gold was going to be a headliner at All Out, because I want to see a tag team match eventually do it.
Yeah,
but I don't know. It's interesting. We're less than 2 months away from All Out, and I couldn't even begin to guess what a match on that card's going to look like.
I got nothing.
we do know now it's going to be at Now Arena, which surprised me. I don't know why it surprised me. I mean, I kind of figured it was going to be Chicago the whole time. I just thought maybe they were holding out for a bigger venue. I don't know what that would have been. Wrigley Field, maybe. But
well, you could like they're doing Dynamite and Rampage
right
live, and then obviously leading into Sunday. So you could do those Dynamite and Rampage in the Now Arena and then move them to Wrigley.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, I think I texted you this earlier. That venue, it's going to be packed. It's going to be a sellout. And I feel like it's going to be a hot crowd.
Yeah.
Which hot crowd just overflows into, your pay-per-view buyers.
Right.
and can make it even better. So,
Yep.
and I bet you the camera angles aren't going to show how small of the arena it is. Like tonight was a fairly small arena, but you couldn't tell.
Right. They do a good job with the way they
The
shoot
upper
it.
deck, I noticed a couple of the camera angles. The upper deck was fairly small, fairly shallow, I should say. It was packed. There's people up there, but they're smart enough with their camera angles. They'll make the place look bigger than what it is.
Right, and AEW does run Chicago probably more than they should, but that's their home away from home, and they know they're going to sell out every show they do there. So
yeah,
makes sense.
Yeah, it's guaranteed money to them.
Yep. So overall rating of the show, and then wrestler of the night.
Tonight was going to be in the 6s until the main event.
I was right there with you.
I'm going 7-2.
Okay.
Wrestler of the night. Man, I almost want to go, even though he lost, and I can't pronounce it right.
Takeshka.
Takeshka.
Mm-hmm.
That was. I mean, I almost was going with Keith Lee or Swerve, but I'm going back to him. I just thought that was a great match, and we should have not got that on free TV.
No, they need to make sure that if they can, because I think he's over here. I don't know if he's only over here for a period of time or what, but if not, they need to get him signed to a contract.
Yeah.
He's been money since he's come over.
He's on a little work visa action.
Mm-hmm.
And
he likes Cinnabon. I see that on Twitter all the time. Likes himself some Cinnabon.
Get that in Japan.
Yeah.
It's way too healthy for people in Japan to have that because they eat way healthier than we do.
Oh yeah, that's not hard to do. Let's be honest. But our minds are kind of the same. I was leading in the high 6s until the main event, and that pushed me up to the 7s. You went 7-2. I'll go 7-4. And I was thinking Takeshka as my wrestler tonight, but I'm not going to agree with you. So since you didn't take either one of the tag champs, I'll take Keith Lee, just because I love the outside the ring flip over the ropes. I know he's been going through some personal stuff with his family. I saw some tweets today that Tony Khan had to come out and say that's what Keith Lee's dealing with, and just good for Keith to finally get gold again. It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time, and there's been a lot of negative stuff on social media about how he leaves WWE or NXT and just gets buried on AEW, just buried in the crowd, but. Yeah, good for him. He is a hell of an athlete for his size. I was going to say earlier in the night, the pound for pound strongest dude in wrestling is Claudio.
Mm-hmm.
Keith Lee can't be. I mean, I know he's bigger, but he can't be much more.
He's strong, dude. He is. I mean, he doesn't have the jacked rip muscles, but he's just so thick and just naturally strong.
And to do a swanton over the top.
Yeah. Part of me also wanted to go with Hobbs. I mean, Hobbs really impressed me tonight. I wish they could just break all Team Taz up. I think they all have enough star power or star ability. Hook, Ricky, and Powerhouse. I think they can all go their separate ways, but they're waiting for something there.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Overall, good show.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait till next week.
Yeah. Rampage is going to be good Friday. Next week's got to be good. They just keep stacking the cards up. I mean,
obviously we're going to get an ROH title match.
Yeah.
Between now and next Wednesday night.
Yeah. Gresham and Lee Moriarty are going for the title Friday night.
Yeah.
Which is going to be good.
We'll get something for the 23rd of July.
Yep. That's next Saturday. That's coming up fast. Paul better be ready to put the title on the line.
Yeah, Paul's too busy out there at the 4-H fair right now.
Yes, he is. We'll leave it at that. We won't give him any more of a hard time.
No,
we'll take it easy on him this week.
We won't pick on Paul.
No, not this week. It's fun to do though. Any other final thoughts?
Nah, overall good show. A lot of good storylines leaning up. to ROH Death Before Dishonor. So I'm gonna look for that. And then after that, it's full throttle to the next pay-per-view there and All Out. So you should have a really exciting next 6 weeks.
Yeah, because we have, of course, this week left the Fyter Fest, next week Fyter Fest. Then we have a Battle of the Belts in Grand Rapids next month in August. Then All Out. Then after All Out, you have Arthur Ashe a few weeks later, Grand Slam, another stadium show.
Yeah. So pretty stacked next couple months. So should be exciting.
Yeah. Hopefully some of the guys, hopefully Adam Cole gets back, Punk gets back, Danielson gets back. Kenny might be a long shot, but it'd be really awesome if he could get back. Even Buddy Matthews. I mean, there's Red Velvet for the women. Just a lot of people. Hopefully they start getting back because
injury bug sucks.
Yeah, it hit him at a horrible time.
Yeah,
it's an absolutely horrible time. So, but yeah, looking forward to it. It's a fun time to be a pro wrestling fan. A fun time to be a fan of All Elite Wrestling. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
Well, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button if you haven't already. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Kicking Out Pod. Of course, like I said, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow Shep on Twitter and Instagram at TheShep27. You can follow me if you'd like at TannerLee92 and Paul's at Paul Zartman921. For Tanner Lee, for Austin Shepard, have a great week, everybody. I'll be back next week. Paul, we don't know. We'll see.
All right.